Yes, guys, so we have finally made it, and we are finally back again for another one, brothers and sisters. The very first out of two reactions I'll be dropping on this YouTube platform. So welcome to this here BrBpTV YouTube platform. Be real, be positive, brothers and sisters. I'll be dropping the other one of the Mr. Licks reacts a bit later on today. So that link will be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. And of course, with that said, guys, don't forget to do what? Hit that like button, brothers and sisters. Smash that like button. I would appreciate that right there and then. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into another vibrations. And of course, with that said, guys, let us get into the vibrations right there. Now, guys, who is this individual on the screen right there? Who exactly is this individual? I'm not sure who he is, but according to Viva Mamo, this is none other than Edgar Hunter. And of course, Edgar Hunter has resigned as a Calypso analyst, which is very interesting. Why did he resign? Of course, based on what the statements has been made in this post right there, Calypso has different components, and several players must be employed in the practice of doing what? Of the Calypso. They must be a part of the Calypso in the practice of Calypso in order for the integrity of the art form to be maintained and kept. Brothers and sisters, Calypsonians, writers, arrangers, event planners, organizers, managers, promoters, analysts, critics, judges, and patrons are all part of that integral process of the Calypso's success right there. Of course, I have been involved. That's what Edgar Hunter is saying based on what Viva Mama has posted. I have been involved in Calypso from several fronts. So apparently he's playing a number of viewpoints right there. Most importantly, I'm an ardent fan of Calypso. Calypso Paro. What is that? What is Calypso Paro? I don't know what that is. But a Calypso apparently is the whole general scope right there. In recent times, I have served as Calypso analyst. While one expects there to be calling moments. Calling moments. All right. While one expects there to be calling moments and indifferences of views, the dismissive attitudes and unwarranted attacks have been unrelenting, brothers and sisters. So apparently they have been attacking him for some reason or the other. I have therefore decided to resign from my engagements as a Calypso analyst. This is in the best interest of those who do not subscribe to honest, frank, and fair analysts. Now, if that is the case, I don't think that you should resign because a few people are making noise. There will always be the oppressors. There will always be those who don't like what you're saying, especially if analyzing and you're trying to be free and fair when it comes down to this situation. I mean, talking about free and fair, we still are focusing on electoral reform without focusing on it, even though we need it very much. You get my drift? So just because people are talking and want to say, oh, it's not electoral reform, it's electoral modernization, forget the foolish. Forget the foolish. You should not resign because people want to talk. Let people talk. People always talk. Look at what they did Yeshua. Look at what they did Jesus Christ. He come and drive. Man, just take the man out. That's crazy right there, brothers and sisters. But if you are truly unfair to the art form, then you should serve the art form in your best interests. When people want to talk. But I'm guessing he's talking about the dismissive attitudes and unwarranted attacks that have been unrelenting. It's interesting. How do you fight these kind of things when they're taking place? Now, guys, keep in mind, I've also heard other situations of what Calypsonians themselves pretty much giving that sentiment. They seem to say there's some sort of favoritism when it comes down to the art form, and this is one of the reasons why I think one of the solution to the problem would most likely be to change up the judges from time to time. You serve 2 years there, okay, great, thank you so much. Bring somebody else, give them the categories and stuff so they can look at what the criteria is. And you know, people who have an understanding for music and the art form in writing and these kind of things, that you should definitely, you know, change up the judges. So I think this can be avoided, even though the possibility of individuals also having their own or being favored, but we have a little, you know, understanding of how to be free and fair when it comes down to this thing. So a number of Calypsonians have echoed their sentiments, something similar to this. They have been mentioning favoritism. Him, on the other hand, have been mentioning that his analysis has been somewhat of dismissive attitudes, collaborating with dismissive attitudes and unwarranted attacks right there. But you should not stop because a few people are talking, man. You know how much people are stuck? You know how much people? just talk and tell me, you think people can stop me? Nobody can stop me unless God take my life. That is the only person that could ever stop me, brothers and sisters, in doing. And you think you know what you're doing, especially on the basis that you are engaging on an honest, frank, and fair analysis. You should not let people take that away, because if you go and you are the one being fair, and somebody else comes in and they are happy with that person, and the person is not fair, that person is biased, and this kind of things there, that is also dismantling the very art form that you say that you used to care about. And that should not be in any way, shape, or form at all. Anyways, Edgar is pretty much saying, I will seek to serve sweet Calypso in other ways. So I'm guessing he's not really, I guess he's just coming out as a Calypso analyst. Maybe that's what they're saying right there, but he wants to seek to serve sweet Calypso in other ways. Thanks for the opportunity to communicate with you over the years. Respectfully, Edgar Hunter right there. I think when it comes down to this situation, I think we should prop up the people who are actually giving their proper critique, who are properly giving their viewpoint on certain things. Sometimes people want to say, oh, you're a hater. No, the person is not a hater. The person just telling you the truth. If you're making music and it sucks, I mean, the person really listens to the music and say, boy, you know what? This is where that person can, better this and that. And then you go and tell the person, oh, boy, you're just a hater. No, it's not so. The person can actually help you. When people give their viewpoints on this kind of things, that you pretty much just, take it with a grain of salt, and see what the person says makes sense. So, but I don't think, you should have, if that is, you feel like this is your strength, especially when it comes to Calypso, you stated that you serve other arenas within the Calypso in Dominica, so I'm guessing you might find something else, but I don't think you should ever stop as a result of what people say, especially if you're doing it from the deepest crevices of your heart. All right, brothers and sisters, talking about the deepest crevices of the heart, brothers and sisters. I saw this, and this one does hit our heart, brothers and sisters. You know what this is? This is a set of big boats, brothers and sisters. Big boats. And according to this individual right there, just a little touch on Dominica. That is all they're asking. Just a little touch on Dominica's economies. Guys, look what we're missing out on. An average spending of $20 per cruiser, plus each cruiser a port charges of 25 US, and that does not include tours with the of course the operators, the tour operators right there. This is an actual photo of 5 cruise ships in Nassau, Bahamas, brothers and sisters, this morning. That was about 2 days ago, brothers and sisters, with an average of 4,000 cruisers plus 2,500 crew. Yes, crew getting rotation offshore days. So I guess the crew gets, I think that does tend to happen from time to time. So the crew also gets to go and explore the island and then free up themselves. Not just stay on ship and, feeding martinis to people, So they tend to go out and free up themselves. Show days and spend a lot, and they also spend a lot too. I see them with their shopping bags, and they told him that. They told the individual that right there. So, we have, here and there, a few boats come to Dominica, and, some of them mainly stay on the boat. Yes. So most people who tend to come on the cruise ships don't come on the island. They tend to stay on the boat. I remember doing an aerial shot a few times, and I did one passing over the ship, and these people were having fun. It was Christmas time in Dominica, I believe it was. Close to, yes, around that time, Christmas time. And I did the aerial shot, and I passed it, and people having fun on the boat. They jumping in pool concert, making ding-dong. And that's how the people had their fun. But a lot of these people who tend to go to the other islands, remember Bahamas stated that in 2024, they are targeting 4.2 million. 4.2 million, brothers and sisters. This will tell you that they're going to probably even surpass it right there. So, I guess as time goes by, we'll see how that goes. That is very, very interesting right there. One day we'll be able to build something like this, brothers and sisters. One day. But not anytime soon, because we hearing it's alleged that Anthony Hayden has all the monies and he doesn't want to give SKERRIT, and he doesn't want to give to SKERRIT. But maybe I don't. Guys, hearsay. All right. Anyways, brothers and sisters, let's continue right there. We got some good news, apparently. The Dominica Hospital Authority is pleased to inform the public that elective surgeries resume on Wednesday, 24th. So that apparently passed 2 days ago, right there at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. I just decided to send this out for you guys so you guys could see as well. Patients holding dates for surgery should keep their appointments and present for admission and be present for admission as previously instructed. The management and staff of Dominica China Friendship Hospital remain steadfast in their commitment to providing quality health care to all our patients. I highly doubt that is the case right there, or you would have the supplies and ensure that things were circulating, the stocks and everything were there, and we had proper equipment to do things, so the Prime Minister wouldn't still have the notion of, sending his family overseas, and the ministers wouldn't have the notion of, hey, my back, oh, look, I get a cut. Let me fly overseas to get that done, because they're scared of Dominica Hospital, okay? So, you have to work on that, all right? The engineering partner that in charge of healthcare in Dominica, you need to work on that, okay? Maybe that is something that you should try to get involved in. I'm just saying, all right. And anyways, guys, let's continue right there. Okay, brothers and sisters. So this is apparently in the same hospital vibrations. Letter by citizens, apparently. Open letter to the CEO of the China Friendship Hospital. It's rather odd that the hospital only deemed it fit to acknowledge the incident with the viral voice note and shared investigation results with the public after the voice note was leaked. This raises the question of whether accountability is only acknowledged when public scrutiny is imminent. Yes, that's another culture that we see in Dominica. This is why I always tell people, if the opposition is calling for people to protest, go out there and protest. If there's a few hundred people, nobody's gonna, they wouldn't bother. But if there's 10,000 people in the streets, they bound to listen though. We know that there's a problem in Dominica, brothers and sisters. Of course, we're talking about the very hospital right there. Of course, this raises the question of whether accountability is acknowledged and only when the scrutiny of public scrutiny is imminent. I formally reported an incident to the CEO which took place at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital on October 12, 2023. That was last year, and have been seeking redress, brothers and sisters, on the investigation outcomes. Seeking an update. All right, regrettably, my efforts have been met with thin air. Silence, brothers and sisters, from the hospital's quality department. The lack of communication is troubling. That's something I also stated in the hospital. Lack of communication. This is why lack of communication can lead to neglect in the hospital. And of course, we have heard that there's been a number of these things taking place in the very Dominica China Friendship Hospital right there. The lack of this communication is troubling and raises serious concerns about transparency. Even though they will come out and say, hey, we have been transparent. That's what they say. It doesn't mean it's action. Brothers and sisters, you don't judge people on the things that they say. You judge them on the things that they do. All right? You judge the people on the things. You take what they say with a grain of salt, but judge the things that they actually do. Just like the Prime Minister said, these are not pie in the sky promises. And then everything he's saying is pie in the sky promises. This is something very interesting right there. Despite the individual continues, despite my written communication to the board, a meeting with the CEO, so he actually met with the CEO, and discussions with an employee at the quality department, there has been actually no outcome in that regard right there. Okay, the outcome of the investigation into my brother's case. So apparently there was some situation that happened into the brother's case, and up to now they haven't gotten a word with it. That's one of the things. If you're not relentless with this thing, it's just gonna go up. Nobody's gonna worry with you. This is another culture in Dominica. It's sad to say, but we seem to have all sorts of cultures that is not good for the very citizens that the culture is supposed to protect. Anyways, this is what transpired. The individual was saying refusal of admission, despite a referral from a doctor for immediate admission due to severe swelling in this individual's brother's leg. A nurse at the ward displayed dismissive and unprofessional behavior. We have heard this time and time again, brothers and sisters. So it's not just the missing of medication, but it's also the attitude that comes with it right there, brothers and sisters. I guess it's the stress that has been given because of the lack of resources, the nurses. But hey, brothers and sisters, sometimes I just try to put myself in the shoes of others. But at the same time, if there's, doctor notes and this kind of thing saying you need to admit the person in, you don't be dismissive of the person. You try your best to find out where you can put the person. So if the place is not prepared, but you can, put the person in a place where, and then, continue, brothers and sisters. But apparently, the dismissive and unprofessional behavior needs to cease. All right, there. It's very sad that is the case. Contributing, and of course that contributed to a delay in his care. The nurse refused to admit the brother, even though the doctor gave a note. Right there. Cut-off time for admissions. The nurse claimed that there was a cut-off time for admissions at 11 a.m. So if somebody's in dire need and needs to be admitted at 12 o'clock, you saying come back tomorrow? Boy. Oh boy. Anyways, cut-off time apparently was 11 a.m. A statement contradicted by other hospital staff and protocols. So apparently, a break in communication again. Yes. This is something that I've been told time and time over time again. This is why I always tell you guys, try your best not to get sick. If you have to go and do a little walk from time to time, if you have to take take some onion in your food from time to time, some cayenne pepper, some ginger tea, some bay leaf, brothers and sisters, even sea moss, brothers and sisters. Eating it raw, you blend it, and you just take a teaspoon and eat it raw, brothers and sisters, after you blend it. And then you can do so once or twice a day. That will help you, brothers and sisters. It also helps in losing weight. Sea moss, brothers and sisters, them things that we don't see on the seaside, that we apparently have no idea about. We have to be getting them from all the way on the east side of the world. But anyways, brothers and sisters, let me continue right there. This is not my protocol. Anyways, this misinformation further compromised the patient care, which is definitely true. Delayed admission and deterioration of patient's health. My brother's condition got apparently got worse, necessitating the need for care in a casualty department on the same day after the nurse refused to admit him, highlighting the urgency and severity of said situation. Unjustified refusal and delay tactics. It's not your hospital. It's not your mother hospital or your father hospital. Your grandfather did leave the hospital for you. I understand it might be something, but use your discretion, my goodness. Apparently there's no empowering in that hospital. It's 11 a.m. It's cut-off time, even though that person most likely was wrong because other staff members indicated that was not the case. Why would there be a time on admissions? Why? People get sick at any time. Why would there be a cut-off time for admissions? 11 a.m. I mean, that person couldn't think, hey, let me go and find out if that is the case. But some people just don't care. They want to make money, so they just don't really care. Or if you come in, I have to come and take care of you. That is too much work. No, come back tomorrow, man. Come back tomorrow. That's why I understand it, brothers and sisters. That's why that's the sentiment that I get right there. I tired, go up and down, man. You come in again to give me more work? No, man. Admissions end at 11 o'clock. So the person does make up stuff. I think the nurses and the individuals, the staff who are doing this, they all need to be fired. Because when it comes down to health care, you have your health and you have care. If you do not have care, how can you take care of health without care? They need to be fired. All of them need to be fired. And it's interesting that we are constantly worried about what the lady was saying. I understand the lady in the voice note was making a statement, about certain things, But that voice note was very vital for the individuals who find out what exactly was going on. And it seems like there was some sort of neglect that took place in the hospital when it came down to Ferdinand. It's sad, but this is not the first time we're hearing these kind of things. I understand if it is one or twice, mistakes happen. But this is constant throughout the years, brothers and sisters. I've been hearing this over 10 years. And you mean to tell me nothing has changed and they have the same set of people working there? That's a if boy. Boy, people think I is a dictator. We can't allow foolishness to continue, brothers and sisters. You care for the people. Show that you care for the people. If you just want to make money, go somewhere else and make money. Nothing wrong with that. Find out what you are good at. But you're not saying you come into a hospital and you want to be a healthcare worker and you have no insight what care means. You have no insight of how to take care and how to properly speak to the people so that you can reassure the people. Even when people passing away, when the people who are coming to bring the news, they tell them to sit down and they hold them and comfort them and they break the news slowly and surely. Hey, that your brother did put up a great fight and I acknowledge him for that. But he ended up, passing away as a result of that. But I just really appreciate him for and there's comforting words. I remember listening to a doctor give the family. I was like, wow. She said something to that sentiment right there, even though I think she was probably lying on the thing. But hey, I was like, wow. And the family came together and they consoled each other and everything. So it shows some level of care. Oh boy. So there was delayed administration and further deterioration of the patient's, the individual's brother's condition, unsatisfied refusal, and delayed tactics. Shocking, the nurse also informed my brother that she was too busy. What? What? Informed the brother who needed to be admitted that she was too busy to admit him and advised him to return the following day for admission. This unjustified delay in providing necessary medical care is utterly unacceptable. True. Me, I would have make noise in the place. I would have make noise in that place. Yeah. They'll have to throw me outside the hospital, but my brother would have get admitted. Yes, man. Following the refusal of the admission, my brother's health further deteriorated. So all that time, that was happening. Anyways, necessitating an urgent visit to the casualty department. Further escalating an urgent visit to the casualty department. I had to contact the doctor who provided the admission slip to apprise him of the situation. Ultimately, it was through persistent advocacy for his admission. Yeah, you have to be, boy. Some of these nurses and doctors do not care. You have to be constant on them to save the life of the very person that they say or took an oath that they will try to save. It's interesting. It's interesting how this man, I don't know. I'm just thinking, guys, I have to, let me continue. What? Guys, I have to continue right there. So you pretty much get, I was informed that by the CEO that the particular nurse in question was on leave at the time and they would have gotten back to me. To date, we are still awaiting. So the nurse was on leave, on vacation, or whatever it is, and they haven't gone back to them. The department is not responding. The department is not responding to any of my correspondence. They wouldn't, because nobody holds them accountable. The people who are supposed to hold them accountable are not doing it. Therefore, they will just do anything that they want to do. That's one of the problems that we have in Dominica. That's what will continue and constantly continue to happen. Anyways, concerning the voice note right there, an individual made this statement. They told her put in her resignation so she will not lose any payment, vacation, gratuity, etc. Smart move game of Monopoly right there. I'm sure maybe this lady did not want to leave. I also heard that this lady resigned long time and went overseas. I don't know if that is true, but be that the case, she's gone. She's gone already, and she's leaving all in all the problems. Anyways, there's also this one. So she left on good terms. A recommendation. She left on good terms, good recommendation to her future employer, saying she was a nice girl, all for votes and what? Think Kasani dotish make any man lose votes. Oh, think Kasani dotish to make any man lose votes. Well, I agree with the sentiment that the voice note was harsh, but I think that the voice note was definitely necessary. That's my own thoughts on this right there. And of course, this is what Dominica has right there. It's rather interesting, brothers and sisters, that moving along from this situation, We are in Cuba. Talk about neglect, brothers and sisters. It seems like neglect is another culture in Dominica. Not true? Lie? True? Okay, let's see, brothers and sisters. This is a message that I received today. It's entitled, well, not entitled. It starts off, "Hello, Miss Telix." That is me, brothers and sisters. First, I'd like to say that I really appreciate your journalism and I wish you all the best because we need more people like you. Brothers and sisters, I'm just doing what I can with my YouTube and stuff, and so I just making sure, somebody has to do it, man. Somebody has to do it. I would like to help you bring awareness to a situation that students in Cuba are facing on government scholarships and what they are going through right there. We were told that as part of the contract of the scholarships that they received, they will be given stipend. Now, a number of persons actually told me about this situation, but there was nothing for me to react to. That's why I didn't put it out. Thank God for this other information right there so I can put it out. This is paid every 6 months. So every 6 months, they get paid a stipend, which is interesting. It's roughly $2,000. It's roughly $2,000, brothers and sisters. That's why it's roughly $2,000. That's not a lot when you consider living in a country where you cannot legally work for 6 months. $300 a month pretty much is what this individual was saying that they receive in total every 6 months. 2,000 in total. So $300 a month, which is not bad. But Cuba is no longer what Cuba used to be, brothers and sisters. I remember some other individuals I knew who they say used to bring all sorts of biscuits and things for them to sell in Cuba, and people used to buy them and they were living, it was relatively okay because they would get the stuff for cheap, come down and sell it, more like how they taking things from China and come and sell in Dominica. They were doing it in Cuba, from my understanding, and able to, make a better living since most of them could not work, apparently, legally for 6 months. $300 a month, which is not bad, but Cuba is not like how it used to be. It has become very expensive. Yes, I noticed a trajectory when Cuba, when they open up remove the embargo, they call it, remove the restrictions and stuff on Cuba, which of course was put back, but I think they take it out again. So obviously, Cuba is going to get a lot more expensive right there as more things are going to be coming in, and there's not a truly dependency on the government, so to speak, for certain things. Anyways, the students have not been paid since last year sometime in April. When they say since last year sometime in April, is that 2023 April or 2022? Because sometimes we just get a little, when the year just starts, But if that is the case, the second payment, so definitely that most likely was in 2022, right there. No, well, it has to be a year, because he said the second payment. Anyway, let's see. The second payment was for the September semester, and they never said why it wasn't paid. So apparently they didn't get paid. The ambassador Ian Douglas just keeps saying he doesn't know. Well, apparently. Is this new? This? I mean, Ian was part rep of Portsmouth. What? Ian knew anything? No, boy. Anyways, Ian Douglas just keeps saying he doesn't know. He doesn't know. While the students have no money and their families are doing the little that they can to help. Very interesting stuff right there. That is the food that is usually served. Now, brothers and sisters, this one kind of took me by surprise, okay? This is what they have been serving them for lunch. This is lunch. I think this is lunch or breakfast. That's what they tend to get. So they get this breakfast, lunch. I guess that's all they get. Now, brothers and sisters, if you want to go and lose weight, I think going to Cuba will help you. Go there for 6 months and you will see. What is the egg now? Egg in soup? Egg in gravy? Well, that is the food that your kids who go on scholarship in Cuba eating. Yeah, that is it, eh? Okay, that. I think this is the most that they get. This is the most that they get, brothers and sisters. They get a rice sandwich and some meat with ketchup. No wonder I never see people who go Cuba get fat. That's probably why. Anyways, let's continue reading what this individual is saying. This is apparently the food that is usually served in the schools. The money is for students to buy their little food and sanitary products and stationary transportation and top up to call home. I would not like this individual is then telling me I would not like my name to be attached to anything, because anytime someone has anything negative to say about the government, it's as if we are the ones doing something wrong. Brothers and sisters, that's a sentiment that have been sent from schools all over the United States. Cuba, this has been sent to me a number of times. When people are voicing their frustrations as a result of the promises that was made by government that is not being kept, instead of the people realizing, hey, you know what they're saying there is not their fault, it's the government's fault. Instead of targeting the problem, they want to target the people who are bringing the problem forward. They say we're supposed to get 2,000. We cannot work in this people thing legally. We cannot do these things, so we obviously depend on the government. That is the contract made by government, and it is not being kept. It's not being kept. And this is the food that they get in, brothers and sisters. They probably giving them that for them to go in the store and buy stuff. My God. That is insane to me right there. But brothers and sisters, that's what the people want. Well, you keep voting the same people over and over and expecting different result. Well, anyways, you cannot be targeting the people who are letting the problems be known, brothers and sisters. You have to target the people who are causing the problem to happen in the first place. Anyways, if they do not want to pay the stipend, they can just say so. But they can at least let us know, because it's difficult for the students to expect money, and they wait and wait and wait and constantly wait and cannot be updated to make other arrangements. Ian Douglas is the one in charge right there. The ambassador is Ian Douglas in Cuba. And Ian has been saying he don't know. How you the ambassador and don't know? Then again, the second semester is here and it's January month, and no stipend either. For now, there is a backlog of 4,000 for each student. So apparently no student has gotten anything in that regard right there. So the parents might be wondering, Elas, my child go overseas to study. No, brothers and sisters. These are people studying medicine and engineering and careers that is needed in Dominica and needed in Dominica. Most American students have luxury conditions by Cuban standard, and they have lots of personal scholarships being awarded to Midwestern and Grambling that the public is not even made aware of. Let me read that again. These are people studying medicine. Dominican people going and study medicine and engineering and careers that are needed in Dominica. Instead of bringing all these people overseas and say, oh, Dominica don't have it, you send them to Cuba to study medicine for them to better the medical field. You know, hopefully. And engineering, well, then again, you have engineering as the medical minister. Guys, Ila. Anyways, most American students have luxury conditions by Cuban standards, and they have lots of personal scholarships being awarded to Midwestern and Grambling, and that the public is not even made aware of. I am not a student anymore. These individuals still not graduated, but it's really an embarrassment to see every month the students are left in the dark. I'm guessing this individual waited for them to graduate before they said anything, because maybe they would have lost the scholarship or something like that. And that is a fear that has been stated over and over again. A number of students don't want to talk because they are fearful of losing the scholarship. You know, Octavia Alfred tell them to go and shake their pampalam. So you know, maybe that's what the people in Cuba have to go and do. So apparently this is on the basis of the food right there. They make it sound like we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but most times the lines are long and food has bugs and is nasty. Yes, in the stores there are big shortages. Yes, I've heard of the shortages as well. So it's really when you see something, but it or there will not be a second. Oh, but most likely when you see these shortages and stuff, when there's stuff there, most likely it's gone by the time that you see the stuff. And a very little, because Cuba is really on another level. We have so much to focus on just to survive, let alone study. Yes. I remember one of the previous individuals who were into Cuba was talking about the water. How they had specific time that they have to bathe. You have to, when you bathe, you have to collect your water in the bathroom. Because other people have to use it, and because water cuts at a certain time. Kind of reminds me of the electricity in Dominica. Oh yes, Cuba had that problem too. I don't know if they still have it, but they had that problem too, brothers and sisters. Electricity was cutting off at a particular time. So they would have electricity enough. They cut it and they put it in the south. Kind of sounds like load shedding, doesn't it? Well, apparently this is the struggle that students in Cuba are facing. And when they put this out there, people don't focus on, hey, you're right, you're truly right. Something needs to be done. They're trying to, why? Brothers and sisters, something needs to be done. But then again, where's the monies that Dominica has created? Where the Prime Minister, they want to say like everything is fine and dandy. And when you look at themselves, they are still in, how on earth Stipes $4,000 per student, no, $2,000 every 6 months. Why don't the government realize, you know what, guys? Let me go back in my Vika's house. Let me go back in my Vika's house. And the $70,000 that we get into rent, let us see if we can give that to the people. Let's see if we can give that to the people. $4,000, that's $40,000. That's 10 people you can definitely do that with. The 30, you can give that to another, say about 18 people. 18, 30, yeah, about there. So you can get that to 18 students. The $4,000 that you have them. Next month, you give the rest that do have. The remainder too. I say I stayed away from the mansion for 6 months. Let me go back in Vegas. I don't have to pay for gas. The country paying for my gas for me. If I tired, I travel back and forth. Rosie used to go up and down every day, But if I tired, travel back and forth to Vegas, I can lie down in the vehicle and let people drive. It's not me that drive in. They can sleep in the vehicle when I reach, Something to help the people. But apparently it doesn't look like the government them care about the people at all. People cannot work. The family trying their best to see they can send something for the students that are there. So they themselves have to worry about surviving, mes amis. Can you imagine, brothers and sisters? You saying you eating piece of that. You eating half and half just so you can have something to eat later on. Or to add to. Boy. I remember they was going to send me to Cuba with brothers and sisters to study. Thank God it didn't work out. I was going to do film. But thank God it didn't work out, brothers and sisters. Actually, I could get a free scholarship to go to Los Angeles Film School. Because you are a content creator, you can get free scholarships and stuff to go to school. And I don't know. Man. I don't know. Guys, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Right there. As long as they can make noise. Is Ian in Cuba now? Or in Dominica? The ambassador to Cuba not supposed to be in Dominica. In Cuba. Maybe if he going through the grind with them, he will do something about it. If I was the Prime Minister, I would send you Cuba. Send you Cuba. If there's issues and whatnot, you definitely have to solve it because you're going through it yourself. Guys, what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. I'm going to be dropping another one a bit later on, so definitely tune in for that. Right there. And then, hey, is World Crime Music Festival in trouble? Tune in, brothers and sisters, to the next reaction video on Mr. Lick's Reacts channel. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Remember, guys, be real, be positive.